Welcome to Two Broke Sophomores, everybody. I'm Andy.
And I'm George.
Today on the show, we have. Who do we have on the show? We have Zachary Earnest and Karthik Ramaswamy. Karthik is the logistical executive producer and unit production manager.
And Zachary is the co-director, screenwriter, and creative executive producer of The Lost Son.
And it's a movie they're doing. It's it should be I'm telling you, this film looks really good. It's The Lost Son is about a young man struggles to survive when he is thrown into the wilderness and separated by his father. And
it honestly sounds great.
It's like going to be like a survivalist thriller. Is that how that was kind of what it was like?
I'd say like they kind of described it as a bit like Swiss Army Man and The Revenant.
Yeah.
But like it's a short film. It's going to be 18 minutes, at least from what we've heard. It could be longer.
It could be, yeah. And it's going to be at some festivals.
Yeah, right? They're going to enter into some festivals for the sounds of things. And for what we've heard, it sounds like it's doing really well so far. Like it's got Indiegogo where it's 69% of the way there, honestly.
Yeah, 69%, eh?
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
that was a horrible delivery.
Yeah.
I apologize for that delivery. That was my mistake. I'm sorry. I apologize for just my existence on this podcast. Yeah, sorry everyone. But anyways, that got dark.
It got sad.
It got really sad, didn't it? Yeah. How was your week? How's it going?
It's been pretty good. It's been kind of a quieter week. Just had some work. That's really about it.
You work at the AMC in which city?
Technically, Kentucky, just North Kentucky.
Wait, why are you in North Kentucky? I thought
I live in Ohio, but I'm right along the border between Ohio and Kentucky.
Oh, Ohio. Oh, so it's like Southern Ohio, so Kentucky.
So I'm in Southern Ohio, and my workplace is in Northern Kentucky. So I like just drive across the border to get to work.
There aren't guards that stop you at
any point. It's in the States.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good not to be stopped by border patrol. I guess the state border. It's not like there's like, it's a country. So Kentucky can feel like another country sometimes.
Yeah, it really can.
So, but yeah, it was a really great talk. I'm really excited. They're really talented. They're really exciting to talk to, and they're very funny, very smart. And yeah, enjoy our talk. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this last week. I have to thank Brianna Sliva, who I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I need to just double check because if I don't, she's gonna like murder me. Yeah, Brianna Sliva, who she's an incoming freshman going to Columbia College Chicago, a graphic design major. She did our logo for free, and I just want to say we're very appreciative of her because she did a really awesome logo. She might do some more work for us, and I'm really excited to, for you guys to see more of her work in the future because she's really talented, as you can see from the logo. I mean, it's a great logo. Like,
it really is. Like, I was kind of blown away with it. I know it's pretty simple because we did send her, like, we sent her roughly what we wanted, but it's almost exactly what I pictured in my head.
Same. Like, I was just like, when I saw it, I was like blown away. I was like, this is amazing. Like, I don't know how she like basically reached inside our minds.
I know.
Like, pulled out great. But yeah, thank you to Brianna, and thank you everyone who's been listening to the last 2 episodes. We're very appreciative. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes. Give us 5 stars, write a review. Do whatever. Tell your friends about Two Broke Sophomores. We'd really appreciate it. Oh, it's God, I'm awful today.
Yeah, we would. Anything you can do would be appreciated. And also, don't forget to check out the Indiegogo for The Lost Son. It has 9 days left. And as we said, they're 69% of the way done with their goal, so they're almost there. It's a flexible goal, so if they don't reach it, they'll still get the money. But it'd be great if we could get them to what they wanted to make life easier for them. And this project sounds truly amazing. So anything you can do to help would be great.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much. And here is our conversation with Karthik and Zach.
Guys, and welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Great to be here.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Yeah, welcome.
So you guys are here to talk about your film, The Lost Son, which you're having Indiegogo on. You're trying to raise the money for it.
Correct?
Yeah. So The Lost Son is a short film produced by myself, Karthik, and then our buddy Zach and Will.
Hi.
The people we have Zachary Earnest, the co-director, screenwriter, and creative executive producer, and
Hello.
Karthik Ramaswami, logistical executive producer and unit production manager. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, let's talk about the film, guys. Where did the film come from?
Zach, do you want to take that away?
Yeah, sure, Karthik, for the burden. No. It's funny because the first idea for the film is actually from one of the three amigos who's not here right now, our buddy Will Rowley. He sort of just came to me with the idea for a survival film starring only one man, or young man, sort of about a father-son relationship. And he said, would you write this for me? I have this idea. It means a lot to me, and we kind of related about the themes of the film, and so I wrote a script, and here we are. And we brought Karthik on board to do all the difficult parts that Will and I are incapable of. So, yep.
Yeah, they stuck me on logistics. But no, it's my first time producing a project, and I'm very thankful to Will and Zach for trusting me along with this process. But I've learned a lot, and honestly, I'm very proud of all that we've accomplished. And, at the moment, we're right now fundraising. We have a fundraiser out on Indiegogo. The final date of the Indiegogo is August 22nd. And we actually have more than 67% of the film's funding raised, which is awesome.
You have reached precisely, yep. I just want to mention you've reached precisely 69%.
Huh,
yeah,
right? Just because you find that funny, I'm going to donate $5 and make it 70%, just to ruin the joke.
Just to ruin. God damn it!
I'm going online right now. Yeah.
You're gonna ruin my joke.
No jokes here. This is not that kind of interview.
It's not this. This is not that kind of interview, man.
No comedy at Emerson. Gosh.
It's like like that line from Kingsman. He's like, "This is not type of movie, bruv."
It's not. Oh, he says "bruv" at the end. Who is that? Samuel L. Jackson? I don't know. I didn't watch that for a long time.
Yeah, probably Taron Egerton.
Yeah, he's the one that says "bruv," isn't he? That's not really Colin.
Samuel L. Jackson's character is American, isn't he?
Yep, yeah, that's right. He's just strange. He wears purple a lot.
I think it's a running joke through the film. I don't know why I know so much about Kingsman. It's a running joke through the entire film of like it's not like other spy movies.
Oh
right?
Yeah, it's like one of those. It's one of those subversive things. I know the score on that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So you want to go into the what are your influences on like what was sort of some stuff you guys like watched beforehand?
All right. Well, sorry, Karthik. I kind of have to say this one too. One of the obviously visually speaking, and sort of for the ideas of like how to make a good survival film, we did one of the best shot survival films of all time, The Revenant, obviously, which once again our DP and the co-director Will He's very big into that movie. He loves it. He's been studying a lot about how it was made, filming in the wilderness and such. And in terms of tone, I kind of wanted to go for a more surrealistic tone, maybe a little bit more quirky stuff happening with the soundtrack and the way it's directed. And so one of our influences for that was Swiss Army Man with Daniel Radcliffe, which I believe is actually made
I love
by.
that movie.
Yeah, it was actually made by alumni from Emerson. So we're trying to copy them. No, I'm just kidding. But that was a big one. Plot-wise, though, I don't know if we really have that many influences for the plot. That was kind of just a spontaneous thing. So.
The plot though, Will was super into this poem.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think his girlfriend Kate, if I remember the story right, his girlfriend Kate, I think she gave him this like poetry book or something like that, and there was a poem in there called The Lost Son, and I'm blanking on the name right now actually, but Will read that poem, and I think it was like broken down into different acts, and Will was super inspired by the poem and the way like the verses, how each part told like a distinctive story about survival and what that means, So Will grew up as a Boy Scout, and he got his Eagle Scout and everything. So the wilderness and that like survival instinct has always been ingrained in him. So I think that is a lot where the story of The Lost Son really came from. And obviously he went over to Zach, and Zach, being the fantastic writer that he is, he made one hell of a script, and I think we can all say that we're very proud of it. Yeah.
That sounds
now
really
we
great.
just have to make it. Yeah.
I have a quick question for Karthik, actually. And
yeah.
This goes back to earlier. So Karthik, you said this is your first project really you're producing. And
yes.
I know you mainly as an actor. So I'm just curious how that transition from actor to producer kind of is for you. Like how that feels. Like what things are you realizing about it?
Well, it's funny because I came into Emerson, when I was like in high school, when I was applying to colleges. My big thing was I was like, oh, I want to go to school for acting, like that's all I want. But I actually had a huge interest in writing. So I came to Emerson actually because I thought I wanted to minor in journalism or something like that. But quickly, like my roommate was Will, so being with him every day and just hearing him talk about movies all the time, I really started to notice that like there was actually a lot about the entertainment world that I wanted to explore besides just acting. So I actually sat down with one of my teachers after my improv class. Shout out to Ken Cheeseman. I sat down with him, and I basically just talked about how I was super interested in creating my own content. So, I actually ended up switching my major. I'm not an acting major, theater and performance major at Emerson anymore. I created my own major. It's called Entertainment Business and Performance. And they transitioned from going into basically knowing nothing about the art of producing and filmmaking to, I think now knowing a sizable chunk. It was crazy, honestly. It was very nerve-wracking because Will and Zach didn't have to trust me. They really didn't. But I think the biggest thing that I've learned along the way is, you like the biggest thing that will ever stop you is yourself. And there are just so many things out on the internet to like help you and help you learn the process about producing or anything that you're interested in. So for myself, I basically just looked at like tons of like videos online of big name producers and how they got their content together, or I was even just looking at like other Emersonian films and looking at like their Indiegogos and the way they set up their films, and just getting to know more and more about the process behind the scenes, because I've always believed that like you don't actually know something till you do it, so there's no point of really just studying up on it. You just have to just get into it. So I think that having this opportunity and Will and Zach really just trusting me and being like, okay, I know that you've never done a project before, but we'll let you just take the reins on it. it's been amazing, honestly. I think I'm very proud to just see how much not only the project has grown, but myself as well. So yeah.
That's really interesting. It sounds like you're actually learning quite a lot from this experience, you know? And like you've
Yeah,
really
no,
taken
for
it
sure.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely something to be said about, I think, hands-on experience. Like I think my first year of college I went to a film school, and I went to University of North Carolina School of the Arts. And one thing they do there is they like kind of like really emphasize like hands-on filmmaking and hands-on, they don't really teach you film. They teach you film obviously, but it's like a lot of it is like, yeah, you're crewing on film and just making films, making as much films as possible and learning through experiences.
Yeah, exactly. I can't agree. I can't agree more with that philosophy because, I feel that it's kind of like that moment in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince when Harry's in Professor Slughorn's potions class um and Hermione like has read the entire book like from front to like from the beginning to end, and she like has this like very terrible product, and Harry basically just did it first try. I mean, granted, he had some like cheat codes, written in the book for him, but I can't agree more with that sentiment of, you know, if you asked me a year ago, going into Emerson, going into my freshman year of college, oh hey, will you be like making an independent film that you'll be like logistically executive producing? Like I'm not doing creative or technical. I'm doing like spreadsheets and working on finances and all that. I honestly would have laughed in your face, but it was very daunting, yeah. But like I guess that philosophy you said, and like I was also commenting on, I implore anyone who wants to do anything that the biggest thing that will ever stop you is yourself. So you gotta just jump into it. Kind of like, I mean, I'm assuming you guys did that with this podcast as well, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I think so.
We both already had some experience. We've done a bit of stuff, but this was sort of it's more new to me than Andrew because I've never really interviewed people on a podcast before. Like now.
Yeah, I mean it's still even new to me. I mean, because I still haven't done it in a while, so it's not like I'm, a master.
Well, yeah, I mean we're all students. Yeah.
We're all students, yeah.
Yeah.
We're still to be fair. I mean that's a very Emerson thing to add, like sort of put that pressure on yourself and almost think subconsciously like you're not, you should be a master now, or like I have to try and be as professional as possible, even though the people you're competing with are just as much students as you. So
is that really like a whole Emerson thing, like all of you? Because George, I know you also go to Emerson, so is that like a?
Well, can you confirm, George?
I mean, yeah, I think it kind of is.
Well, I think it definitely is, but I think in general, I think as I'm assuming all four of us. I mean, I guess we consider ourselves like artists or like we're into the arts or whatnot. Like I think that it's a very competitive field, but it's competitive in a much different way than like computer science or just like any of like the STEM courses or whatnot. So it's like I think the crazy thing about our pressure is that we're going into a field where we're relying on our creativity, and you have thousands of people telling you not to do it, or they're not going to make money, or this or that. So and on top of that, it's so competitive that I feel like it's hard not to like jump in and then question everything that you're doing, because you feel like you only have one shot and you got to make the most of every opportunity you get. So I think that's kind of the philosophy I'm taking with this film as well, is that for all intents and purposes, this could be my first and only shot. So why the hell not, perform the best I can? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, being in like a creative field, it's kind of like a leap of faith all the time almost. You never really know how it's going to turn out. You just got to try it.
There's so many days.
For sure.
Yeah. There's so many days and nights where I'm sitting on a couch. I'm like, I'm never going to fucking do this. I'm going to be living out of my car when I'm 50 years old, and that's still going to be a dream. Like that thought goes into my head all the time. I can't even count the amount of times where I'm like, I'm going to be a failure,
Well,
Like,
no risk, no reward. That's how I see it. And Karthik, going back to what you said earlier, Karthik, I feel like as for our project, the Lost Son as a whole, a big part of our philosophy for making this was sort of to do another nerdy illusion. It's kind of like a Klingon philosophy, because we are like shooting ourselves in the leg, which sounds bad, but hear me out. We're kind of making it difficult on ourselves and seeing if we can go through the stress and seeing if we can go through this in the most independent, guerrilla warfare style possible. And, just so we can sort of gain the confidence of like, oh no, I'm doing this the hard way and I'm still able to do it, right? So, a big part of the inception of this project that was a defining moment, I think, for me and Will, and I hope you too, Karthik, was when we decided not to do it with the aid of EIV as we had originally planned. But we gave up on that for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, and I think, for anybody listening, or if, George and Andy, you guys don't know, EIV, I'm assuming George knows, but EIV is basically like this student production company over at Emerson, and, there's a couple student production companies at Emerson, and, this is no bash on those companies. This is no bash on anyone who decides to go with those companies, but,
not at all.
It really came down to me and Will having to fill out the form to, like, get funding, well, not get funding, but ask for funding from EIV, and Zach trusted me and Will to finish out our part of the form. He filled out his part, and me and Will were sitting in our dorm, and around 11:30 at night, we sat there and we were like, we're not going to get this done. It's due at 11:59. We were freaking out, so we called Zach to come up to our room, and literally that night at like 11:59, we basically decided, fuck it, let's just go independent. Let's not do, the quintessential route that most kids in our school do. And I'll admit, at least on my part, I was saying most of it out of adrenaline. I remember for sure, like, the very next day being like, oh shit, this is not going to happen. Like, there was a lot during like the first 2-3 weeks after us deciding to go independent that I was like, this is just not going to happen, because it just felt like we had this huge, like, barrier to cross, and it was like, we don't have any backing. We're doing this on our own. If we fail, everyone's going to make fun of us and laugh at us, and nobody in our school does Indiegogos unless they're doing a BFA capstone, BFA capstone film. And we were freaking out, because at least I was freaking out, because my entire job is to have a successful financial investment period and whatnot. So I'm very pleased and proud that we did decide to go independent, and even if it was because me and Will didn't do a great job filling out the forms, I'm very proud that we went from that to I think creating a successful campaign with fantastic group of people and filmmakers, and we just have this very passionate team behind us, and that's the reason why today we have 10 days left, and we can say that we funded 69% of our project. And most BFAs, no tea, no shade, but they'll have 10 days left and they only have like 20% completed. So I think we've done a great job, and I'm very proud of us for going on a route that is just not normal for kids at our school.
So basically procrastination was our secret ally. That's kind of the hilarious irony of it, is what started out as us procrastinating a little bit, sort of dragging our feet, was what was necessary to like give us the drive forward to do things a little differently. So I like that, and he's not joking when he said we made the decision at 11:59, and that shit was due at 12 a.m. So it was the definition of a last minute thing. So
I mean, I completely understand what you're saying, but because I think one of the things, at least I don't know, they talk about it a lot at Columbia and UNCSA, is sort of like college is kind of like the place to fail. So
100%,
yeah, exactly. So it's when I've been trying to like adopt this, like, as as you probably know, as creative people, as trying to like not be afraid to just do things. like even though like when me and George did this podcast, like I can't be afraid of we can't when we do it and when we get it together and when we interview people and we just gotta sort of at least my attitude towards it has been just like yeah, let's do it because it's fun. And even though yeah maybe it doesn't get 100,000 hits, but at least we did it and it was fun and we had a good time doing it. So yeah, I mean it's okay. Never my sort of whole attitude is just like never be afraid of failure unless you're having a good time. And also one thing about yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, I think that's what you just said is a very good message, once again, for all the kiddies back home in Emerson, which is sometimes it feels like there's an enormous amount of pressure on you creatively for the creative students at Emerson. But I think a lot of people would benefit from just sitting back, seeing the bigger picture, and being like, what am I doing? Let's just go out on a limb here. So.
Yeah, and I feel like another thing is like with this podcast and maybe if you're a project, I don't know, but I feel like one of the biggest critics is yourself. Whenever you're doing something, you always criticize it the most yourself. You're like, I could do this better, and you always think things are horrible, even though they're probably not. You can't get out of your own head, and sometimes it's good to just step back and say, I'm gonna do this. It's what I want. I'm having fun. I don't care.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that, George. It through this process with the Lost Sign, I feel that we actually have a pretty solid marketing campaign. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
but,
I think you guys do too. Like,
yeah,
you've got
I was very
69%
impressed.
of your goal. That's really good.
Yeah,
not 70 yet.
Oh yeah, not 70
Oh,
yet.
you
but,
did get.
Yeah.
You didn't get
You
to
called my bluff.
The
only reason I haven't donated yet is because I don't own a computer yet. I had to sell my computer to donate to the Indiegogo campaign.
That's a good story. That could be a future story. That's like what.
There you go.
On your IMDb page. I mean,
when I'm famous and penniless like Nicolas Cage, then I'll tell people that story and hope they give me a donation then. So.
Yeah.
And it'll be three broke old men. Me, Karthik, and Will. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. It's but kind of going back to George, your point. The reason I brought up the marketing campaign is because shout out to Hannah, who's in charge of marketing for the Lost Son. It's funny because like you're saying, we are our biggest critics because we have like this marketing group chat, and it's literally just me, William, and Hannah. And it's funny because Hannah and I will come up with stuff, or Hannah will come up with something, or Will come up with something, and I'll come up with something, or whatever, and we'll throw all of our ideas out there, and then we're so critical of each other, but it never comes out of place of, oh, you're doing a shitty job, or this sucks, or whatever. It's because we are our like biggest critics, and we want to make sure that we can put something out there that we're all very proud of. And it's funny because I know that if we were to put our original idea or whatever like our first draft of things, I'm sure that we'll still get a very positive response from people. But like you were saying, George, like we just are our biggest critics. We'll take forever, like there just to post something. There have been so many times where I'll create like a schedule to post stuff on the Instagram, and me, Will, and Hannah will then just have to keep delaying each date because we want to make sure that what we're about to post is something that we're proud of.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the interesting things about creating. Like, no matter how like well structured it is, there's always going to be that hesitation. I feel.
I have that all the time with scripts I write. Or whenever I'm writing, I was just finishing up this script, and I'll write a scene, and I'm just like, I go back to it and I read it, I'm just like, damn it, is this really the best I can do? Is this really how I want to sort of present this? And I'm just like, take it off, and then I'm like, no, put it back on, and it's like a whole back and forth in my mind of like what to put in, and because like I'm a big dialogue guy. I don't know what you guys. I'm sure this film doesn't have a lot of dialogue, but I'm like I love to write like a lot of dialogue, So like when I'm writing, so I'm like very particular about the way I write dialogue and sort of the rhythm of it. And if it's like not in the exact right rhythm, it'll really like tick me off, and I'll have to go back and like redo it until it's like perfect. Also, I don't know if you guys, do you ever feel like if you're working on something, you can't stop until it's done? Like you can't take a break,
Oh,
you
for
can't get
sure.
up, you can't. I don't know if
For
is
sure,
that
yeah.
only me.
No,
Eh.
I get some of that. The script I wrote before The Lost Son, which was a almost feature length script, I wrote a lot of that in like an airport, so that was a hellacious experience for me. But I would mostly agree that if it's going well, then you don't want to stop. If it's not going well, then I'm a little bit like, get me out of here. I want to go to the
Yeah.
Max and
That's why I hate
buy
editing.
some gummies. Yeah.
I absolutely hate
editing
editing because I can't
is
stop
annoying.
until it's like done. Like until the whole movie is
Opposite problem
done.
here.
Yeah, it like annoys me a lot.
And to be fair to ourselves, I think it's healthy to feel this way about your own work, especially when you're young. I think there's kind of got to be something a little bit off with you if you start off and you immediately, like all the way through, like as you're making something, you're like, well, of course this is good, this is great, right? I mean, if you just have that attitude all the time, I'm not. It might be more pleasant, but I'm not necessarily sure that's the right way to go about it. I think it's the more natural process is to be one of doubt, which isn't always fun, but I think it's healthy. So.
Yeah, it definitely is healthy. Because I feel like if you have some doubt, then you're willing to like accept criticism and like critique and change things that you think aren't that well. Whereas if you think this is perfect, as soon as someone says, this thing needs tweaking, it's not that great, you might just go, fuck you, I'm great at writing.
There you go. Well, yeah. No, I think this has been a very introspective conversation. This was very therapeutic for me. I feel a lot better.
That's honestly,
that's good.
When I get into podcasting, when I was doing my original podcast, I was like, I would love it if there could just be a space for like people our age or younger, just young people in general, can just hash it out and talk about what it's like being young and being in entertainment and because like there's not a single place. You look at all the interview, all the interview podcasts and all the interview things out there, and sometimes they'll talk to young people. There's not like really a place for that, and that was sort of the intention, so we can get into like conversations like this.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, no, yeah, kind of like what Zach was saying. This is I hope it's not over. But I think you guys have a great format for the show. I think that, the conversation's very naturally driven, and I agree with you. I think that as younger, quote unquote younger entertainers, people who are trying to break into the space, when you grow up, you're only idolizing people who've already made it. You never really get to hear about like their past. I mean, sometimes they'll talk about it in passing. They'll be like, oh yeah, I was broke at this point, but they don't really spend too much time talking about it or whatever. But I think this is a great format of actually talking to people while they're on the come up, or while they're actually going through it, because they're talking and sharing from a perspective that they're only feeling right now, because hopefully after this episode airs, we can look back on it in like 2-3 years and be like, oh shit, we made it, dog.
That's where it all started going uphill with that podcast episode.
Yeah, we're all gonna
definitely good, and I think it's a good way because it shows people who might be in a similar situation to you, but having those feelings of doubt, thinking, I can't do this, like I really can't, that there is a way to do this. Like you just need to like put in a bit of effort, but you're not really alone.
You just gotta go through it.
Yeah, I
mean,
100%.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the film. There was something, I guess we talked about something about the lead actor. I guess George had a.
Oh yeah, I was curious how you guys decided on who you cast as the lead, because I know you both go to Emerson, and really most of the productive crew on this film is from Emerson, but he is from George Mason University. And I was just curious how you stumbled across him.
So yeah, no, this is definitely a Karthik answer, even though I'm not really too much into the
Very
creative
much
portion
so.
of this film. Obviously, yeah, with an acting background, I did sit on auditions and all that, but I sorry, getting onto this topic gets me really excited because it's actually part of a bigger conversation. So, I ever
As
since my
excited as
freshman year
you
of high
want.
school. Yeah, I'm super excited, dude. I'm literally smiling right now. My freshman year of high school, I joined speech, which is part of speech and debate. Speech has like three different facets to it. There's like this competitive acting aspect, which is what I competed in, because the speech program at my high school was ran through our drama department. So that's why I got into speech, because my speech coach was also my drama teacher. And it's actually very rare for high schools to have their speech program run through their drama department. But yeah, I was in speech. So speech, there's three, like I said, there's three different like areas of it. There's like competitive acting or interpretation, and then there's platform speaking, which is like you writing like your own speech, what people will assume when you say speech. And then there's another portion which is called limited preparation, where basically you have to give a speech on the spot about a random topic that you get right then and there. So I was in interpretation. I was in competitive acting through all high school, and I loved it. I was
And it
president of my
wasn't
team and all that.
and it wasn't speech like debate. It was like speech like in terms of acting.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So it's part of an organization called Speech and Debate. So the high school organization is called the NSDA, which is also known as the National Speech and Debate Association. But speech and debate are very different. Personally, I don't really know why they're grouped together or why they're part of the same association, but that's also because I was in the acting events. But anyways, the biggest dream ever for any speech kid in high school is they want to make the national final stage at the national tournament. Like you want to be the best. And Steven, who's the lead actor of our film, he actually was a high school champion. He won the National Speech and Debate Association's duo interpretation. He won the entire thing in the country, and it's crazy because speech and debate is actually the NSDA national tournament is actually the biggest high school tournament in the world. So kudos to Stephen for that. But he's basically been this prodigy in the speech and debate world ever since he was like in middle school. Because he had a very great has amazing coaches, like famous Hall of Fame coaches back home. And I actually went to this speech and debate camp that his coaches ran, but he wasn't there at the time. But fast forward to college, I actually did not think I was going to do speech and debate in college, even though it was a big part of my life. I was president of my team, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't think I was going to do speech and debate in college. And next thing you know, we have a speech coach coming to Emerson from George Mason University. And our speech coach's name is Dion Hawkins. Emerson, his name is Dion. Dion used to be the coach at George Mason, and George Mason is one of the best college speech and debate teams in the country. It was actually one of the schools I was looking at because I thought maybe I could get a speech scholarship there. And that's where Stephen goes. So we went to a tournament this year, Emerson did, and we met Stephen, and Stephen and I got talking because I was like, oh, hey, I've met your high school coaches before because they taught me at a camp or whatever. And he was like, oh, that's dope. And we kind of just started talking because of that. And then Will and I, in the process of us having to finalize that budget and everything for EIV, we had to go to California for speech nationals, for college speech nationals. And at college speech nationals, Stephen was there with GMU, and we went to his dramatic interpretation round, and dramatic interpretation is just the purest acting event there is. And we went to his dramatic interpretation round, and it was a semifinal round. So it was right before finals, obviously, and he blew us away. It was fantastic. He did a fantastic job, and we walked out of that round, and we were like, "Lol, we have to look for an actor. Why don't we talk to Steven?" And at first it was a joke, but then we were like, "Holy shit, what if we talk to Steven?" And Steven actually ended up getting second in the country this past year in dramatic interpretation because he's that fucking fantastic of an actor. And after the tournament, we went up to him and we talked to him and we said, hey, are you interested in like acting like professionally? And he was like, oh yeah, I've thought about it. And we just started talking from there, and we told Zach about it. And we then, like the very next day of us coming back from the tournament, I sent over a script to Steven, and I was like, here's the script, read it, and then talk to me if you have questions, but we'll set up an audition time. So we had fantastic people at Emerson auditioning, but as soon as we FaceTimed Steven, we just knew. So honestly, thank you, Speech and Debate. It's always been the greatest thing ever in my life, and I can definitely thank Speech and Debate for providing the lead actor to our film, who is phenomenal. I literally cannot wait for everyone to see Steven star in this film. He's going to be absolutely fucking fantastic.
When you saw him, were you looking for, and you saw him, what sort of grabbed you about was it his sort of vocal and speech ability, or was it sort of more his mannerisms and he had sort of tics that you sort of appreciated? So what was sort of the thing that you sort of saw in him for this role?
Right. Yeah. The biggest thing is obviously because this film is basically just Steven's character, the son, and he's going to literally be on camera the whole time. The biggest thing that appealed about Steven is one, his facial expressions. Like, he was to not give away, I guess, too much of what his performance was this past year, because I don't think I can explain it and do justice. But his performance was him portraying this guy who was locked up in solitary confinement. He barely spoke throughout the 10-minute performance that he gave, but it was so moving because, here he is in this room of like hundreds of people, and he's barely talking, but he's commanding the room with this huge presence about him. And you can be in the very back of the room, but you can just see the tiniest little twitch on his eyebrow or just the way his hands are shaking from a distance. And you can really empathize and feel for his character, even though he's not saying anything. So those non-verbals was a huge thing for me and Will when we saw him in that round, that really gravitated towards us trying to bring him onto the project. And like I said, yeah, he just has a fantastic stage presence, and he's very commanding, he's very charismatic, and I think that he really is like a hidden gem. Like, you see all the time those people who either they don't go to college for acting, or they don't go to, like, I guess, quote unquote, a good acting school. Like, I think George and I, like, we go to a well-known acting school. Like, Emerson's a very well-known acting school, but if you look at someone like Bradley Cooper, who he didn't go to college, or Chadwick Boseman, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah, Matthew McConaughey. I don't know. Did he go to college?
He was discovered. No, he didn't. He was
Vince
discovered in a
Vaughn.
bar. Really? He's a good actor. No, I know he's a good actor.
Vince Vaughn failed high school.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
he did.
That's such
So he had
he
had multiple reconnaissance. Wow.
It seems like such a Vince Vaughn thing.
Random.
Wait, actually, I just remembered.
He failed high school, but he only graduated because in the high school, the code said the class president has to attend graduation. So what Vince Vaughn does, becomes class president, fails all his classes, and then since he's class president, he has to be at graduation, so they had to let him graduate.
Wow. Your expectations subverted again by Vince Vaughn.
I know,
What a
right?
man.
What a man.
McConaughey,
What a legend.
McConaughey was discovered in a bar by Richard
wow.
Linklater. By Richard Linklater,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, and no,
Good for him.
he's
And
a
he just
fantastic
do like
director,
the voice, and then Linklater was like hypnotized. I must
Yeah.
bring him on.
He was hypnotized by his
like, all
staccato
right.
voice. Yeah, it was like he's just, hey there, man. It's
I was
Master.
waiting for the impression. Wow.
You're waiting for
great.
the impression.
I know. I was trying to get it out of you. I'm like, come on.
all right,
It didn't disappoint. All right.
All right.
Speaking about actors who I guess didn't really finish high school. Seth Rogen actually dropped out of high school. Fun fact, he just didn't finish.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he dropped out.
Makes
He dropped
sense.
out when he was 16. He was just like, I want to do comedy. So I think there's like a video somewhere. I was watching comedians in cars getting coffee or whatever. And,
Oh, the one with Seth
there was
Rogen's great, where they just go to Arby's and they're just like, "What do you guys have? Do you guys have the meats?"
Do you guys
I love him so
Do you
much.
guys sell coffee here?
You guys sell coffee? I love him in Superbad. He's just amazing in Superbad. It's just when him and Bill Hader are on screen together, and they're in the I think whatever it was, like the gas station. They're like saying like, "What's the guy's height? Is he here? Was he there? Is he there?" You can't see me, but right now I'm doing the thing that he does with his hands. And it's just,
I wish I remembered, but it's okay. I can try and interpret.
he takes Chris.
They're good together.
Yeah.
Bill Hader and Seth Rogen are need to do more stuff together, because I feel like Bill Hader currently might be able to elevate Seth Rogen's career.
Yeah.
I mean, not to diss Seth Rogen, but I think a little defibrillator might help him.
Seth Rogen's he's back on a hot streak a little bit. I mean,
Yeah,
I know.
he's doing good.
He did
I know
Pumbaa. He did Pumbaa in The Lion King, but
I forgot about that.
But he wasn't Pumbaa.
That's true.
He could have done better.
Pumbaa is the worst character in The Lion King. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make this podcast.
Yo,
Wow.
you just dissed my boy Seth Rogen?
I know.
Wait, what? You think
Pumbaa's
Pumbaa's the worst character?
I think
Pumbaa is not the worst.
He is not the
Hold
worst
on,
character.
No, hold on. Well, I don't know. Maybe the hyena bitches. I don't
There's
know.
not a single
But,
bad character in The Lion King.
Yeah, exactly. So he's good. He's just the least.
If
the
you're gonna
lesser
say
good
anyone's
character.
a bad character, you should say Zazu.
I didn't say bad.
He's the most annoying
Zazu.
guy ever.
Zazu, even Zazu, I haven't seen the new one with John Oliver,
With
but
John Oliver. I
it
kind of
good?
like Zazu just because of how he annoys Scar. But and I will say Pumbaa has one good line, which is "They call me Mr. Pig," and that's in the original. I think it might be in the remake too.
But he sort of
Yeah.
What was that they call?
he redeems the entire role with just that line. They call me Mr. Pig.
Yeah, that's really good.
Are you
And
kidding
it's
me?
a
I
reference
think
to something that
Pumbaa's
nobody watching the movie now would understand. It's a reference. I don't even remember the show, but it's the line "They call me Mr. Tibbs," which is like a detective show from like the 80s.
Oh no, that's from. It's from a movie.
Yeah,
it's
from a movie.
Yeah, very, very Sidney Poitier.
Sidney Poitier, that's right.
He says, "They call me Mr. Tibbs."
They call me Mr. Tibbs. That's how he
I
says
haven't
it.
seen the
really
movie, but I know that's the line.
Yeah, that's a good line.
Besides that line, I thought Pumbaa's best moment. I mean, I'm sorry to drag on this Lion King conversation.
No,
but
we
I
should.
thought-
No, this is the best
We're
part.
gonna
This is what people listen to. This part.
We're gonna cut
I
everything and just include the Lion King bit.
Yeah, all that
okay?
like nice, deep philosophical conversation.
yeah.
Fuck that.
Fuck
Lion
that.
This is the
Lion
other
King.
part.
We're having
Lion
a
King hot take.
No,
So
fuck it.
what's your favorite part? What's your favorite part?
Well, my favorite part of Pumbaa is when, he's like, "When I was a young warthog." That was the best part.
When I
That's
was
funny,
a young
but then
warthog.
it ends with a fart joke. And this might be another controversial opinion, but I think farts are gross. I do not like them in my movies, like I do not like them in my coffee. I'm sorry.
Wait a second.
I like
You
my.
don't like
Wait a
it in
second here.
coffee?
You said one of your big inspirations for The Lost Son was Swiss Army Man, which is just like the fart joke,
That's
which
true.
has the most fart jokes of like any movie I
That's
can
true,
think of.
but I'll say that. Well, here's why I like Swiss Army Man. That movie actually takes farts and makes them not a joke by the end. Like they start off, and I didn't like it when I thought it was just supposed to be funny. But they use it for something else, so I'm okay with that. And even though it's an inspiration, I'm not like a massive fan of Swiss Army Man, but it is.
So
an
is that like what constitutes a good fart in your opinion? Like the fart.
That
has
honestly,
that
this is what I think. I think the fart has to have meaning. I think the fart. I can write a thesis about the farts in Swiss Army Man. I'd like to see you write a thesis
I would
about
read
Pumbaa.
that.
Pumbaa just shows up.
Yeah,
and
I would pay
I
you
would
money to
definitely
write
write a
that
thesis
thesis.
about
I like
Pumbaa.
Pumbaa. I like Pumbaa. I'm just saying, I think it's not spoken enough that in the combination between Timon and Pumbaa, it's like 80% Timon is the reason why that works. I mean, I'm sorry. I think Timon is the best. I think Timon should have won an Oscar for both
This
films.
is such a hot
What?
take. This is
really a hot take.
This is what I do. I come on podcasts and I say controversial things. I'm like Howard.
Like I think this has the power to
Pumbaa?
take the Lost
Okay,
Sun down.
this is
which Pumbaa
with this hot take.
Which Pumbaa is better?
Which Pumbaa should have won the Oscar? Because you said which.
Well, if there was an Oscar for like best farting animated character, then
does he actually fart though?
He does. He farts.
Pumbaa?
Yeah, I don't remember
like
him.
His character trait, because like in the song, it's like
he loses his family because he farts and then they run away. I mean, I'm sorry. That's when I'm like, I check out a little bit. I'm like, am I supposed to feel sad for him?
I feel that The Lion King makes me cry. Okay, I will.
Well, but
I will
did
probably
Pumbaa make you
I'll
cry?
be the first to admit it. Kind of, yeah. When the Can You Feel the Love Tonight comes on, and they're like, I can see what's happening. In that whole part.
But I'm pretty sure but no, that's Timon saying that, I'm pretty sure. That's what I'm saying. Timon is 80%.
In that song,
thank you. I converted one.
I still love Pumbaa.
I love Pumbaa.
I like Pumbaa.
It's a combination of both of them.
I'd
let my kid have like a stuffed animal of Pumbaa. So here's my question. So you guys seem like knowledgeable about films, of course. So you know who played Timon in the original, right? You know who played Timon, right?
Oh yeah, Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane.
I knew.
Do you remember who played Pumbaa?
Okay, well that doesn't mean he's not good. That doesn't
my,
mean anything though.
I just shot the nuclear bomb. It's over.
However, I will say this: Nathan Lane has done more of his career.
Yeah, no, he's definitely done more.
I think that's just what it is. I think I just like Nathan Lane and Billy Eichner more than I like Mystery Man and Seth Rogen. I'm sorry, I just do.
Excuse me, Seth Rogen is amazing.
I mean, he's funny, but I don't know if he necessarily adds that. Anyway, we're getting into it. We're getting into it. Karthik. Karthik's like left the call. He's making.
Well, I didn't leave the call. Not gonna lie, I was actually searching up Timon and Pumbaa facts, and then I ended up looking at a bunch of pictures of warthogs. So.
No, but I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna
pretty cool.
When there's times in the movie like there's like those emotional. For some reason, as I've gotten into this late age, I've heard, I've just animated movies have just like made me cry more. I don't know what it is. Like,
I'll be honest.
Have you seen? So my last point, I will make one more point on this topic, which is I am fairly certain, I'm almost 100% sure that the first fart joke in a kids movie, an animated kids movie, is Pumbaa. So we have him.
You are correct.
Is that true?
It's the first fart joke in a Disney animated movie.
Well, and so we have him to thank for all the unfunny fart jokes later on. Even if you like Pumbaa, he started something bad, and it can't be forgiven. I'm sorry.
Okay, well,
I'm just saying though, he's still. It's a combination of them. You can't separate Pumbaa and Timon. You can't just say, "Oh, Timon's great and Pumbaa's eh."
But Timon is like pulling him along by like a rope. That's what's happening.
But that's like the gimmick. It's like the smart guy and the dumb guy.
Yeah.
They do have to play off each other.
Like, dumb guy.
You're right. I mean, you're right. Look, Pumbaa, no beef with him. I'm just saying.
Look, as much as I love this Timon and Pumbaa conversation, I already know that Will's about to be like, well, I was actually about to continue on Lion King. I actually think Lion King is a lot like the Lost Son, in my opinion.
That's true.
Oh, please
a son
it is himself. In a way. I can see how that is actually. I can see
the parallel, but you would never think of that,
You never think of it, but
well, here's the thing. Well, I mean, we can't give too much away about the Lost Son, obviously, but what we can say
basically
is,
the Lion King.
It's basically the Lion King.
The live. It's like funny Disney
another live action Lion King, and
it's another live action Lion King, and
it's with puppets.
Just like Simba in the Lion King, who is a lost son. Let's not forget that he's lost. There is also a lost son in our film. I hope that doesn't spoil it.
I can say.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I don't know what the film's gonna look like, but I feel like there's the 5 seconds of, or not even 5, maybe like the minute of Simba, like young Simba, like wandering through the desert. is essentially the lost son. I don't know what what it is, but that's, I guess, from what I've heard about it so far, it seems like that minute before, Timon and Pumbaa find Simba, and while he's just kind of just like walking through the desert.
Yeah,
kind of
it's like that. It's like 18 minutes of that, except instead of the desert,
18 minutes of that 1 minute of Simba being lost.
Although I will say that this is controversial, but this also promotes our movie. Okay, you ready for this?
We're trying to go controversial.
I think our lead actor, Stephen Durche, may actually be a better actor than Matthew Broderick. I'm just saying.
Whoa!
I think it's possible. That's a real big one. I give him props because
honestly,
as far as I know, he didn't kill anybody. So
random Matthew Broderick fact.
Listen.
Did you know he killed two people?
Exactly. He killed 2 people in Italy in a car crash.
No, wasn't it Ireland? Like he had a stroke or something behind the wheel?
Well, they both start with I's, so you know.
Wait, Matthew Broderick. Wait, is this serious?
Yes, this is actually real. Matthew Broderick killed 2 people.
Yeah, he in a car crash. Yes, and he got away with it.
1987 car crash.
Well, he got away with it.
Some people speculate.
Didn't he have a stroke or something?
Well, I've heard that some people think that he may have used his influence to sort of get off without the proper punishment. I've heard some people are mad about that. That's hearsay. I don't like to spread gossip, but you know, it's a thing. I'm proud of
spread gossip.
But
Reddit.
That's what I do. But yeah,
Matthew Broderick seems like a nice guy.
Hey, listen. Have you heard his cameo in BoJack Horseman?
Well, I hate to say it, but I have not seen BoJack Horseman.
You should. That is the creepiest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
God.
When he plays like a 1950s dad, saying like women shouldn't, shouldn't have brains. Remember 1950s dad? Just for context.
That's true. No, we got the context.
Yeah,
maybe that's just
I just want to make sure if anybody's
voice.
listening, somebody will take a clip and then they'll be like, Andrew Cohen hates women. God.
We gotta be careful here because I think Matthew Broderick could sue us for libel if we say much more.
Yeah, but no. Anyways,
okay. I think he's a good guy though. I like him.
He's good.
Way to cover your bases,
that
George.
really bad Godzilla movie he made. I'll admit that.
And he made Ferris Bueller's Day Off. How do you hate?
But other than that, what has he made that's good? I'm really curious. I don't remember.
The Lion King. He made The Lion King. You could say
he didn't make The Lion King.
He doesn't do a good job in the original.
He does like a good enough job though. It's not like
when he has to
watch it and get taken out of the film by
he starred in Good Boy. The 2003 comedy play is what all.
That sounds amazing.
Look,
all I'm saying is
he voices the dog. Yeah,
he's on Broadway.
Well,
yeah,
actually,
he's
he got
Broadway with Nathan Lane, and it was great. And then they made the movie, and it was so-so.
Oh yeah, actually, because he was nominated for the Stinkers Bad Movie Award for Worst Actor.
Yeah, so I'm just saying I think Stephen Durche may be able to surpass at least that. And
yeah,
the original Lion
I
King,
definitely I will agree with Zach. Stephen Durche is literally
he's the best.
On the verge to be Mahershala Ali. Calling it right now.
Wow.
Calling it.
Wow. That's bold. I love Mahershala and I also love Stephen Durche. So who knows? Collab for the next film?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Honestly?
You never know.
You never know. And I will say this: when we brought Stephen on, my only trepidation was I'm like, well, he lives in Fairfax, Virginia, so it's like, is he really gonna want to like come up here for just our like little trashy movie because he's so good? And at the time, I was being very self-deprecating, and I was like, is our movie really good enough to warrant this kind of effort from such a good actor? And he was so, he gave us a real confidence boost because he was so into it. He loved the idea. He really wanted to do it. He was totally willing to come all the way up to friggin' Boston. And so I think that made us feel very, very good about ourselves. And we're afraid to disappoint him. So.
Yeah, and it's funny because obviously Will and I had met Stephen before, but Zach had never met him. And back in July, actually, I went to GMU because I was helping with their speech and debate camps that they have for high schoolers. And Zach, since he lives in Virginia, he drove up to Fairfax to pick me up from the airport because I got there a day early. And we went and we hung out with Steven. And it was funny because, at first I was a little nervous that it may be a little awkward because Zach and Steven have never met. But it was crazy because, we worked on film a little bit. At least when I was there, we worked on a little bit. I know Steven and Zach went off one night and they worked a lot together. But, coming together, kind of going back into our little philosophical conversation, as artists, there's this huge strive to want to be great and to make something that you're so proud and passionate about. And Steven was so hyped about this. He was very just humble and very happy that we gave him the shot, because also this is Steven's first film. I think, I don't fully know, but I think he's done plays and stuff before, but he's never done any film before, if I'm not mistaken. And he was very excited to work with us. And I think from the few sessions that we had, I think Zach and Steven hit off really quickly, and I think that we have a great relationship with Steven, and we're in constant communication with him. And I think that people are, when they see the film, not only are they going to be surprised by being like, oh my God, I can't believe a bunch of college students made such a professional film, but I think they're going to be blown away by being like, oh my God, who is this, unknown actor on screen, has no IMDb credits, has starred in nothing, et cetera, and he's really going to blow away the audience. Like, we're not kidding when we say that Steven is the real deal. Better than Matthew Broderick. So
yeah, there you go. That's his tagline.
Better than
and better than
pretty big claims here.
Matt Broderick. I know we're really bordering on fraudulent levels of no, I'm kidding. Very high claims. But we brought him on our film, and I hope that when he inevitably becomes famous, we will already have signed him onto a 25-year contract.
I think if
so
Matthew
Broderick, on that,
baby. I've seen interviews with Matthew Broderick. I feel like if he listened to this, he would take a very nonchalant attitude. He'd be like, "Yeah, you're probably."
I don't know. I think he might like wear a blindfold and then just come driving near our houses just for plausible deniability.
He's gonna do a drive-by.
Oh, a drive-through, more like drive-through.
Wow. Drive-through. Yep. Okay.
I'm going there. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm going there. I
know. I've got a bone to pick with all sorts of people from The Lion King. No, but
Lion King people.
Good stuff. I'm just mad that they stole our plot line from Hamlet.
They stole
technically
Hamlet.
Speaking,
they
did steal Hamlet, and Hamlet's only the third best Shakespeare anyway. So more people need to be stealing.
No.
Another hot take.
Is that really? Is that a hot take? Really?
Another real hot take.
I didn't realize you were Hamlet fan.
I don't know if that was a hot take. It's just I thought
That's
it would be a hot. Is it? I haven't studied enough Shakespeare.
Have you guys read Othello? Just be honest.
Yeah, I've read it.
I have.
I have.
Yeah.
Othello is the fucking best. I'm sorry. Othello is definitely better than Hamlet. I know that.
Hey, George and oh my God, I blanked on your name. I'm so sorry.
It's
Andy.
Garrett.
Andrew. You call me Andy or Andrew. It's fine.
Okay, sorry.
I even forget my name sometimes. It's okay. My parents forget my name sometimes. My sister forgets my name.
I'm so sorry, but I'm so sorry.
Just get a stage.
What I was gonna say was I'm really excited because not only is this your second episode, but I guess it's the first episode of the new podcast that you can just rename the whole podcast called Zach's Hot Takes. And I can't wait for the description of today's episode having nothing to do with The Lost Son, but literally just being guest star Zachary Ernst takes hot takes on Matthew Broderick, Pumbaa, and Shakespeare. So
he has a bone to pick with everybody.
I have a bone to pick with a lot of people. I'm very angry, and to be fair, I do think we had some serious jibber jabber for 45 minutes there. So I think we have a good balance.
It was a great. Did you guys have a
Yeah.
good time? I had a great time.
I
Yeah,
had
I
a
had a good
wonderful. This
time.
was the highlight of my.
Oh, yeah, I for sure had a fantastic time. This was a great time. This is my first time being on a podcast besides, I guess interview
Same.
podcast. I'm on the Haunted Hour, obviously, with George. But no, this was great. If you ever want to call back me and Zach or I guess Zach for more hot
Please.
takes and me just to provide insight, hit us up.
When you guys are Oscar winners, I will will definitely try to have you back. Thank you guys.
Oh, your
right,
flattery.
so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming here. You really talked up this.
It was a great honor.
To see it, honestly.
We really, really appreciate it. It's unbelievable what you guys did for us by coming on here and talking with us. And yeah, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Before we go, can we make one last pitch about the audience contributing to Lost Sun?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So before we go, my name is Karthik, obviously, and Zach's here with me as well. And there's another guy behind the scenes named William. We're making this film called Lost Sun. We have 9 more days for people to contribute to this project. So as of today is August 13th. You have 9 more days. So it's going to be done on August 22nd. We are at 69%, and we would love it if you guys could contribute to this amazing project. We have a fantastic actor who's been claimed to be the next Mahershala Ali and better than Matthew Broderick. We have this fantastic crew of people, and we can't wait for everyone to see this film. We're so passionate about it. So if you could, please go out onto Indiegogo and type The Lost Sun, and it'll be the first link on Indiegogo. So thank you guys so much for having us on the show.
Yep. Thank you.